Episode 548. After Su Mu Cheng left, only Ye Shu and Chen Guo remained in the internet cafe. Chen Guo had given the rest of the staff a holiday that wouldn't end until after the 7th day of the new year. But the main reason Chen Guo had closed the shop these past few days was to focus all her attention on hosting Su Mu Cheng. With Su Mu Cheng gone, Chen Guo simply reopened the internet cafe. Business at the internet cafe was quite good that day, especially with all the young faces. Many of them couldn't even produce an ID, resorting to all sorts of excuses to try and slip through. Clearly, a lot of kids had gotten their hands on some New Year's money and were looking to spend it in style. Chen Guo was a person of principle in such matters, never one to chase after petty gains. Kids without ID cards were flat out denied access. Left with no choice, the little ones had to stuff their red envelopes back in their pockets and stomp off in a huff, joining the line to leave. Chen Guo sent countless groups like this packing every single day, and she showed them not an ounce of mercy. It was the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, the final day of the holiday break, and the Glory Pro League had scheduled a match day, hoping to give the game's vast fan base a happy send-off. This day had been earmarked in the season's schedule from the very beginning. The schedule for that day was packed with marquee matchups. Take Excellent Era versus Tyranny, for instance. Their current standings might be worlds apart, but years of bitter rivalry were more than enough to make this a must-watch event. No fan of Excellent Era or Tyranny would dream of missing this one. Then there's Tiny Herb versus Samsara. Following Excellent Dynasty, these are the two teams that have claimed the league championship in the new era. Now, Tiny Herb faces a challenge from the increasingly formidable Samsara team, a clash between a traditional powerhouse and a rising force. Then there's Blue Rain versus Thunderclap. Both teams are led by tactical masters of the Alliance. While Blue Rain seems to hold a clear advantage in terms of player and character strength, Thunderclap, thanks to Xiao Shiqin, has the ability to give any team a serious headache. How these two tactical masters scheme and maneuver is sure to draw the attention of countless players fascinated by strategic gameplay. Then there's 100 Blossoms versus Misty Rain, and Xuanqi versus Mingqing. Every single match has its own highlights. Whether it's controversy or gossip, it's all just brimming with excitement. The only real pity is that all these matchups were set before the season even began. A lot of hot topics and new rivalries have emerged since then, but there's no way to work them into the schedule now. For instance, the rivalry between Tang Hao and Lin Jingyan, the old and new generations of brawler masters, only erupted this season, and now both are core powerhouses for their respective teams. But if they'd known that, the 100 Blossoms versus Windhowl match would have been scheduled for this day too. With so many dazzling, high-stakes matchups on the schedule, the viewers were left in a real quandary. On the TV schedule for that day, the planned broadcast was the match between Excellent Era and Tyranny. However, this season, Excellent Era's performance had been rather lackluster. The direct competitive rivalry between the two teams was gone, leaving only the long-standing grudge. The league, when scheduling this matchup before the season, couldn't have predicted this. What was meant to be a marquee event for the Spring Festival ended up losing a lot of its luster because of it. Fortunately, the dramatic showdown between Sun Xiang and Han Wenqing at the All-Star Weekend gave this match a whole new set of talking points. Even Chen Guo, who had long since lost her love for Excellent Era, decided to tune in for the live broadcast of this match. At Happy Internet Cafe, the holiday break was still in effect, leaving only Yi Shu and Chen Guo to mind the shop. When it came time to set up for the evening's match broadcast, only the two of them were there to handle everything. They ran around, back and forth, working up a sweat in the process. Fortunately, Chen Guo was experienced. She'd run similar events single-handedly in the past, and knew exactly how troublesome it could be with too few people. Thanks to her advanced preparations, the broadcast went off without a hitch. However, since they'd already offended the die-hard fans of Excellent Era, although they broadcast their match that day, very few people had come specifically for it. Chen Guo had long since stopped caring about that. The old atmosphere was indeed gone, but the turnout was still pretty decent. Especially today, With the Excellent Era match about to start, passers-by were practically stampeding inside. The front desk always needed someone to keep an eye on things while they were running the business. In the end, neither of them fought for a prime spot. They both just sat at the front desk, connecting their computers directly to the live stream of the match. The commentators and guests had already begun their pre-match warm-up introductions. This season, Excellent Era's performance has been so dismal that it's really taken the shine off this match. At this point, the commentators and guests were focusing more on discussing Sunshang's failed challenge against Han Wenqing during the All-Star weekend, hoping to stir up the audience's emotions. It turned out that bringing that up was the right call. The Excellent Era fans in Happy Internet Cafe were indeed fired up, all hoping their team would crush tyranny today, especially Han Wenqing. The more humiliating his defeat, the better. After all, Sunshang's attempt to provoke at the All-Star weekend, only to be soundly defeated, had left Excellent Era's fans feeling pretty humiliated. Especially in their verbal clashes with Tyranny fans, they'd been mercilessly mocked over that fight, leaving the Excellent Era faithful utterly defenseless. Since that one win over Tyranny after the All-Star weekend, it had become the single biggest hope for Excellent Era fans this entire season. As for the playoffs, a possibility that existed only in theory, Excellent Era's fans had long since stopped dreaming about it. A match that the supporters took very seriously was, of course, an extremely important one for the team as well. Excellent Era had already shown their confidence and determination at the pre-match press conference. The match began swiftly. For the first round of the singles competition, Excellent Era's chosen representative was none other than Su Mucheng and her dancing rain. Chen Guo immediately dropped what she was doing and began watching Su Mucheng's match without blinking.